as I'm coaching people, and I coach 30, maybe 35 people a week, I hear ideas all the time, and then I can create content to attract people that are at least at that level. And that's how we've grown from 2014 onwards. We just got people of higher and higher quality as the mastermind grew by creating content for higher and higher level people, essentially. But yeah, anyway, what did you want to talk about?
Okay. I just had a call just like 30 minutes ago, and it was my number 6 sales call, and I don't know, it just I felt a little bit nervous, you know, when the client was make his own inquiry, like, oh, do you really know these things, or did you make this before? And until this point, I was feeling, you know, I know the shit, like I know because I worked before with this, but then I don't know, like I had this surge of like anxiety, and these thoughts in my head that I didn't want. Is like, oh, this self-doubt, you know, and I don't know, maybe I don't know the right mindset yet, and how to behave. I understand that I have to give, I have to show myself confident to the client that I can deliver what he needs. But there is this conflict like in my head that, like, what if I don't provide what he actually needs, and I fuck up like everything, you know? And then this was happening in my head, like during the call. And I saw that he felt it, a little bit lack of confidence. And yeah, it's just like how to control this, you know, how to be like more chill with this, you know.
Did you follow the 7 steps on the sales call?
Yes, I followed the 7 steps, and this was after I sent the PayPal link to him, and then he started to ask me, oh, are you really capable to do this? You know, because I want the specific thing from my website, and could you provide me another, even on the proof case, he said, oh, it's okay, let's move on. And he didn't ask any other sites. But after I sent the PayPal link, he was bringing new objections, you know. And
why was he bringing objections after you sent him a PayPal link?
Because he basically want to add features to his Shopify store.
Yes, but why was he asking? Yeah. Why was he giving objections after you sent him a PayPal link? Why not?
Because was the price was too high. It was like above 1,000, and his budget was 300.
How do you know what his budget was?
On Upwork, I say. Like he announced the job
so
with 300.
If he announces that something is a certain number on Upwork, that means that's his budget?
No, of course not. And I asked him how much he was making with his business.
So hold on. So you're saying he thought it was too much because it's over his budget, but then you're saying that his budget is not what he was saying. So why was he telling you the objection after you sent him a PayPal link? If it's not because the budget was, because the price was too high, what other reason could it be?
In his head, because he works, he knows about the Shopify store, and he made sites before, and he said that he wanted hire someone.
But I'm asking you a specific question, right? So I'm asking you, why did he give you objections after you sent him the PayPal link?
Maybe because he didn't trust enough on me to pay for my service.
Okay. Okay. So people give the real objections always after you send, well, almost always after you send the payment link. That's how it works in sales.
Okay, so this is understand. This is normal, and
everyone gets this, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, probably I just need to do more sales calls. I have another one in 2 hours from now.
And
So
how did you handle the objection?
I said to him that this is the usual price that I work with my clients, and that for the features that he wants on his basic Shopify store, the price would be around that. I basically said, this is my price.
Is that the correct way of handling objection?
No, not at all. But was what I said at the moment. So, because I felt the pressure and I didn't know like
what is the correct way of handling the objection?
Ask what's the real problem, what's the real objection, and why he cannot.
How do you? But the so what was, say the objection again?
So yeah, this is a bit higher than I was expecting to pay, and I think we are not going to be a good fit.
Is that a real objection or a fake objection?
Fake one.
Why is the fake objection?
Well, because I know that he has money to pay, has more money to pay the service, but it's just, of course, he wants to pay a cheaper price, and he apparently he was negotiating. So because he know that there is he worked with this, so he has a sense of how much it's like the hour. There's like $35 an hour to make this type of job, because he did before.
So it's not a real objection.
Yeah, it's not real.
How do you know? But you just said that he knows how many hours it is, so he knows how much it should cost, and then that you're charging too much.
Well, because charging, it's subjective, right? It's I think it's related to which value I'm going to bring to him. So I have to show him how.
I'm not asking what you believe. I'm asking it if it's a real objection.
It's okay. Yeah, in that case, it's a real objection. It's a real concern.
Why is it a real objection?
Because from his past experience, he saw that there is actually people that can deliver this within this price, and the price that I was asking for him, it was much more, was double of the price, or even triple. So he didn't feel like paying this amount of money.
A triple of what exactly?
So he said that he needed 10 hours to implement these features. And I basically said that my hour was $100 an hour. And then it was the triple of the money that he was expecting to spend on this task.
So he was expecting you to do it in 10 hours, so $30 an hour instead of $100 an hour.
Yes.
Okay. And by the way, out of curiosity, not that this is very important, but what does your profile say in terms of hourly rate?
65.
Okay. And why did you decide to charge him more than 65?
Because on DBH, it's recommended to charge at least like 1,000.
Okay. It's recommended to charge at least 1,000. Okay.
Yeah.
For what?
For service for the client.
Okay. So should you charge at least thousands in every situation? Like, should you ever take a client that's less than 1,000?
It depends if it's how. It depends how you're going to deliver, right? If it's really fast and your hour it's worth more than 100, or because there is a threshold. What I understand is there is a threshold of
Actually, it
value.
doesn't matter what your profile say. So if you say your hour is 65 and then on the call you say it's 100, then you're increasing the price on the call in his eyes. That doesn't really work really well.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. So what would be the strategy to use on this?
Don't charge if you calculate based on hours, which I don't recommend, but if you calculate based on hours to get like your first sale or whatever,
yeah,
then calculate per hour what you promised on your profile, not 30% more.
All right. Okay. Yeah, because I tried to make you know, all these features are going to deliver for this much, but and then he went to the hourly job, you know, that he want to pay like this, because it was like a safer way to do things for him, because he already did on the past, and maybe I couldn't persuade him to pay for the project instead of the hour. So that's why
Do
I
you have
got
any
entering.
sales yet?
And no.
Would this guy be a pain in the ass to work with?
From we had 1 hour call. I guess not. Like he seems well, like he knows what he wants, and his past reviews on Upwork is also good. So based on that, I believe that would be a good person to work with.
Okay. So, but you don't have a sale yet apart from the consultation, right?
No.
And he knows how this project works. You're not going to be able to sell him very easily. You could solve, like theoretically, you could solve this on a sales call, but someone who's tech savvy and he could probably do it himself, it's quite hard to sell them. Like, do you see you set it up wrong? So you say it's 65, but it's 100. He knows how many hours it is, but you're trying to charge him more hours than you both know that it takes, right?
Yes.
And you agree to talk about hours, how many hours it takes in the first place. So you have to talk about it because you agreed to talk about it earlier in the call. So you set up the whole sale in a way where you can't close it. So you could objection handle your way into getting him to buy by doing like some extremely, some pretty advanced stuff, I guess. Just objection handle until it closes and just kind of maybe even do high pressure sales. But why not just set it up so you can actually close the sale instead of lying to him and doing all this weird stuff?
Yeah, I agree. It's why I sent the PayPal link to him. And yeah, right now I'm just I have another call with him for tomorrow, and I already sent the PayPal link. And yeah, I'm willing to take this first client just because I have to close. So and he would be a good person to work with, and I understand how the process works.
10 hours? Is it 10 hours?
Yeah, for now it's 10 hours, but since he's building his website from scratch, probably he would need more, and then I could raise the hour after this 10 hours, because I could raise the value.
Because then you'll have a relationship with him, so you can charge him more hours.
Yes.
I don't recommend charging more hours in the future. For this sale, you don't have a choice because for some reason you agreed on this already. So if it closes, you'll have a relationship based on hours. People do this in DBH. I don't recommend it, but people do this in DBH and they make like 10, 15K per month. So you better ask the developers on Monday what they think about this. I generally disagree with this method, even for developers, unless it's extra work and it's like 100 per hour for extra work if it's outsourced. But for this sale, it's better to get this sale since he's not a pain in the ass to work with and it's only 10 hours and you get paid 65 per hour, for you, that's, for you personally right now, that's okay. But in general, in business, that's not okay. So don't use this, don't make a habit out of doing this, okay? Here's
Okay.
how to handle this sale properly. On the call, do not talk about how many hours things take, okay? Talk about the value that the client gets from this and what it will change in his business. At which point did the conversation switch to hours? At the end?
Yeah, only at the end after I sent the PayPal link, and he said that he expected hourly, like 10 hours to make this job, and not this amount of money that was on the invoice.
Did the invoice say how many hours it is?
No.
Oh, so you didn't agree to talk about hours earlier in the call. Why did I think that you did? So he switched it only at the end. Okay, I misunderstood. I don't know why I thought that you allowed it earlier in the call. Okay, in this situation, on a future call, not with this person, but on a future call, develop the habit of handling the objection. Okay, so yeah, I understand that you can see, like, I understand that you believe this takes 10 hours, and I'm sure someone can do it in 10 hours, and I'm sure it would work somewhat. But let me tell you something. So a lot of people that I work with, I mean, if he starts talking about hours, it's kind of a no-go area for me. So I would say, can I be honest with you? That's what I did. This is a little bit more pushing away, right? Because he's entering territory where he's talking about my hours, something like that. Now, I set the frame throughout the call that I'm not a freelancer. So if he starts talking about hours, it's like, whoa, no, we're not going to be going there. Okay. So in that situation, I would say, okay, can I be honest with you? And he would say yes. After that, you can say almost anything, by the way, if he agrees that you can be honest with him. So all the clients that I've ever worked with, don't write that down, by the way. Don't.
I'm just taking bullet points.
You need to know how to speak like this. You can't like write down some sentences and then use the little tricks. You know, you can't, like, this is not a canned routine call. This is a sales training call. So can I be honest with you? So from all the clients that I've worked with, all the successful clients, they told me what you said earlier in the call. They said, what I'm looking for is for this part of my project to work perfectly and flawlessly and without mistakes. And I'm looking for efficiency, for ease of editing it later on, so it doesn't break, and so on and so forth. Whatever it is he finds important. I don't know. Like, I'm making these things up, obviously, right? So did you say earlier in the call that this is what's important to you? And he will say yes again. Okay. So for me, this takes this amount of time. So if you want to work with someone who does it faster, cheaper, and so on, we may not be a good fit, and that's okay. But I have to warn you, if someone says they can do it faster and it's going to be whatever, I would carefully think about this, because this is part of your business, it's part of your funnel, and it needs to work in a certain way, it needs to be tested in a certain way. And I don't want to give you unclear expectations or the wrong expectations at the beginning of our potentially long business relationship. So what I'm telling you stands, and I want to stick by it. And you know, if you want to stick by what you said, which is this, and the other thing, what's important to you, right? Then I hope we'll see it the same way. Does that sound fair, right? So maybe simplify that a little bit, but you get the idea, right?
Yes.
Is this a native English speaker, by the way?
Yes, he's from US.
Oh, okay. Then yeah. Then you don't need to simplify it. It's fine. So, but do you, what did I just, like? Why did I answer like this?
You are giving a little push on him, saying that you're putting standards and setting the rules and the frame. instead of you chase him, you are making him to decide by himself that it's actually a good idea to work with you?
I'm pushing him away a little bit so that he doesn't like, so he knows that that I can walk away essentially, and that he knows that I don't want to be treated like a freelancer. And I'm making sure to repeat back to him to what he told me and hold him accountable to what he told me is important to him. Because now he's talking about this price thing. But is that really what he cares about? And he said it isn't the most important thing to him. What's most important thing is those other things that you discussed. So if he wants to be congruent with his beliefs and he wants to be congruent with what's important to him, when he said that it's important to him, then his objection is not a very good objection. I mean it is valid, but it's not the thing that he said is the important thing to him. Okay? Do you see what I'm saying? So
I guess, yeah.
So it doesn't like he, you know, you're kind of calling him out there. You're like, okay, hold on there. You said this and this, and now it's the moment of truth. Suddenly you're changing your story. Do I still want to work with you? That's kind of what you're saying there.
Okay, yeah, maybe I didn't have this frame. Because it's basically using his motivation as a leverage to defeat his objection instead of just arguing about the price and like how instead of just showing my value, like would be just better to use like his dreams and actually I talk about his motivation a lot, like during some minutes, and I didn't use this to handle his objection. So probably this was one of the lacking pieces of the end of the call.
Okay. Does anyone else have? Oh, actually, Damiano's here. He's a developer. He's closing bigger deals. Damiano, how do you handle when people give you price objections at the very end? If you want to speak.
Sorry, I joined a little late. What do you mean, like when they give you a price objection at the very end?
So Louis, he sent a payment link, and at the end, the guy is like, "Oh, but this only takes 10 hours. Why are you trying to charge me this much? This is more than triple than what I was expecting to pay." How would you handle that?
Well, is this after a call? Did you have the call with him, or?
It's during the call, at the end of the call. So how would you handle this, Damiano?
What was the objection? It's too many hours.
Can you repeat it, Louis?
It's too. He said he wanted 10 hours for particular features on his Shopify store, and he said that he estimated 10 hours, paying $30 an hour. And I said to him, okay, I can do this, but then I priced on $100 an hour. And then he said, no, this is too much. This is triple of my budget. I don't think I can pay this.
Okay. There's a couple of ways that I would handle that personally. I just don't understand why you're even having the conversation with him if he like thinks that he's going to pay you $30 an hour though.
Because first, I didn't have anything to lose. I didn't close sales yet, and I just and by his because his background is basically he sells on products in person on some events like a month. Like that is like each event he sells like 1,000 profit of products. Like this is like three times a month. So I was thinking, okay, if he has this profit every month, then he would be qualified to pay for this feature at least 1,000, you know. And apparently, yeah, he didn't want to pay, and I was like, okay.
Right. I think it might be just like I might be wrong because I didn't hear a call, but it might be just a lack of communication. Because for me, when I get into a call, there's like that never happens because I tell them straight up how much I'm charging. So usually it's not like it doesn't become an issue like that. But now that you're at this point where you've already had the call with him, he's objecting right now. What I would do personally is I would just show him why it's worth paying more to have your service. And so, you know, like if you have any case studies or other things that you did, like one of the things that I do is I have a screenshot of the revenue of like the best client that I had. And I tell him like, look, you can go and get somebody for $30 an hour. But like I have a pretty good track record. Here's a screenshot of, you know, this company that made millions of dollars because they worked with us for a year. I think, you know, the relationship is a lot more important than, you know, paying a little bit more over, you know, 10 hours. And usually if the person is like, you just feel them out, but usually if the person is like logical, like you just have to make it make sense. That's how I would approach it. The other thing is you can also like just charge for what it is that he needs instead of like just giving him an hourly rate. Like, because it sounds like he told you that it's gonna be 10 hours, but it's development. Like you can't really know that, right? I don't know what the work is, but you might run into an edge case. You might like anything might happen, right? So, and I think you might want to like reconsider is just, you know, look at how much work is involved and then just give him like a flat price.
Actually, I think you can answer this. You can give this estimation. He has a FBA Amazon store and he has a Shopify Lite account, and he needs to because there is a Shopify SDK in JavaScript, and he wants to add these functions from this SDK on his Shopify HTML template, like the basics for function they store. And he believes that 10 hours would be enough for doing this.
Yeah, but just because he believes that it's 10 hours, it doesn't mean that you have to agree with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, did you talk to your developer about it?
Yes. He didn't know how many hours because he's not proficient on Shopify.
What do you mean he? You're the developer.
Well, I have a friend that's helped me out because I never delivered this type of job. So.
Oh, okay. My answer was based on the fact that you knew this, but now that I know that you don't know this, that's a totally different story.
Well, even if I knew it, it's hard to say because he didn't specify yet what he needs. So, and this is like one of the challenges that I always have. It's they don't know, like until at least we sit and he talk feature by feature that's exactly what he wants. I don't know how to estimate the exactly hours and price that is going to be.
What do you mean you don't know how to estimate it though? Because you can't really estimate it if you don't have the conversation with him, right? Like, because he told you it should take 10 hours, but if he's not a developer, then he can't gauge that, right? Like I have people coming to me being like, oh yeah, it's going to be a week's worth of work, but it's not, right? Like most of the time. So you should be able to have the conversation with him even before you quote him on like the amount of hours or anything like that, or you know, get him to pay you like a retainer and then be like, here, you could pay this because it's 10 hours for sure, but like we might need to add depending on, you know, how many hours you want to or what the features are, right?
Okay, so maybe I just need a process, like a template. So because when he say basic features for his e-commerce store, then it's just basic features that you make his store work. So, but yeah, it's just a knowledge that I don't have yet. That's why I charge like around 1,000 because I just want to close the sale. Right.
It's a little bit confusing. Like I think on my end, like it's it's just something about your process just feels wrong. Like in terms of your communication with the client. Like I might be wrong. I'm not 100% sure, but like for me, like if I get into a call, I know by the end of the call exactly how much work it's involved. And then if I don't, like you can, get them to agree, like set a deposit or something, and then give them a full proposal, later or something like that after you spoke with the developer, if you're not 100% sure. But yeah, like I'm used to giving proposals like after the calls and stuff like that. For development, I don't think that's unusual. So I would find out exactly how much work is involved and then quote him on the correct number of hours if you're doing it hourly.
Okay, this is good to hear. Because usually I try to close as soon as possible during the call. But I felt that I could talk with the developer and he could tell me, oh, these features are going to take this much time and it's going to cost this much. And then I could send a proposal to him. Okay,
that's usually how I do it. Like, especially with custom work, it's really hard for you to say like right in the first call, like, yeah, it's going to be this many, like if you want to get a commitment from him, you could do that, just because like one of the things that I've done in the past is, it's to explain to them like, hey, we're going to put a bunch of our time and a bunch of our resources into looking into your store and stuff like that. So I want to make sure that you're not going to go work with some other freelancer or something like that. Like if you're going to work with us, you're going to work with us. And so we need some sort of deposit or commitment or something. And then I'll send you like a formal proposal. That has worked in the past as well. I don't like doing that within the first call. I'm not that desperate to get the payment within the first call. Usually if you can show your value and you have like really good results and testimonials from your past customers, it kind of becomes a no-brainer for them. Right. And you want to be able to offer them value as well. Like if like you don't want to just take $1,000 and then find out that you can't deliver like later, right? Well, that's just how I do it. I don't know if other people would agree, but like that's just in my experience, that's how I do it.
For sure, man. Thanks for answering. It's much more clear for me now. I'm going to use this type of process. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Damiano. Always handy to have other developers on the call to analyze this.
By the way, Alex, so when is the tech call? It's next week.
It's been announced. It's in the calendar. It's been announced. Everything is in the calendar. Has been announced on WhatsApp.
Because it's for the next week, I guess. But I didn't. Oh, it's like Monday. All right.
You can see it. It's in the calendar.
Okay.
2 p.m.
Right, man.
Monday, 2 p.m. Paris time. It's in the calendar. I also just checked the calendar. I don't know.
Okay, I think that's all. That's all.
Cool.
Thanks for answering my question.
But yeah, man, thank you so much.
Try Smart and Hot Girls. They're bearable for longer than 3 weeks. Okay, anyway, so what do we have here? Okay, who wants to speak next? I think maybe, oh, what? No. Oh, maybe Nicholas. He's probably here because of my Facebook message or Facebook post. Nicholas. Hello? Is anyone here? I should turn on my webcam or something, or what's going on? It's not that interesting, Like, here, I'll turn my webcam. Maybe that'll wake you guys up. Okay, so who wants to speak next?
Hey, Alex, Fritz here.
Fritz? Okay, hi.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Can I ask you a question about sales?
People have been doing it on this call.
Yeah, okay.
You may be able to ask me about sales, considering that every single person in DBH, or their teacher got taught by me to do sales. So you may be able to ask me a few things about sales, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, basically it's because I have 2 sales calls like in an hour. So I want to be sure if I want to do not fuck the calls. So I am having this objection recently, and it is how can you assure the results?
How many times did you get this objection?
2 times this call. Sorry, 2 times this week.
So
I am doing
2 times this week. Someone told you, how can you assure these results? At which part of the sales call did they say that?
at the end. At the end.
Where at the end?
After I tell them what they are getting and the price. I mean, they are asking me, how do you assure me that I am going to have like the return of what I am investing? So to be, what I am telling them is like, I am very confident at what I do. And also that never happened to me before that a client doesn't get a return of investment.
I would never, ever, under any circumstance, promise any kind of guarantee. There's no guarantee. There's only guarantee of work being done. That's the first thing. So I would say, actually, so if anyone ever promises you a guarantee of ROI, they're lying to you. And it's a sales strategy. There is absolutely no such thing as a guarantee. And you're taking some type of risk. It's just a matter of working with people who can reduce the risk for you. And the way I reduce risk for clients when we're working on ads is, one, I make sure to write clients to work with, which we did, and you passed my questions successfully. 2, I analyze their current situation based on their business model, like if their business model is viable, if they have scalability issues or not. 3, I make sure, like those types of things I would talk about. I make sure that I've had experience with clients like this before, yada, 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 right? So these things reduce the risk, and I'm very confident in what I do. And the vast majority of my clients get amazing results, and they're super happy, and they work with me on average for whatever amount of months, right? But never listen to anyone who says, I guarantee you a positive ROI. There's no such thing. And it's unethical and unviable to promise such a thing. So that's what I would say. Because you can say, no, of course I get results or whatever. But then, I mean, I'm not saying you're saying that, but I'm saying people say that, and then the client is automatically going to be disappointed unless they have a positive ROI, which most clients won't have with ads. Most clients do not have a positive ROI with ads, right?
Yeah.
Does anyone else have a different way of handling this objection? Aaron says, fuck you.
That wasn't to you, Alex. That was to Steven. Steven's been...
Oh, I thought that was your objection handling method. I thought when a client says, how can I be sure that you'll have a positive ROI? You're like, fuck you. I thought that's what you meant.
Yeah, but I don't really ever get that objection. I think you make it clear for, like, I don't know, maybe I'm just not talking to idiots. Maybe I'm just lucky that if they think they can get something guaranteed, then they're just idiots, in my opinion. But it's also because you haven't done the call right. I know it's easy just to say you haven't done the call right, but that is pretty much what it is.
Okay. So
yeah, I handle it in a certain way. So sometimes after I've done a sales call, they just might be like, so, do you can you guarantee results or something? So it does happen sometimes. So the way I usually handle it is I just basically say, look, there's no way we can guarantee results because obviously we don't so for me it's Facebook ads. So I'm like, we don't control Facebook, that we don't own Facebook. All we can guarantee is like we're going to put in 100% effort. You're going to be getting super professional marketing efforts, hopefully from this call. I've conveyed myself as a professional. You've seen things like my portfolio, website, branding, our testimonials, and things like that. So we can't guarantee results, and I'd be very careful of anyone that can, that says that they can guarantee results, because they're pretty much like lying to you and just trying to take your money. So we can't guarantee that. But what we can tell you is that the potential upside, as you've seen from our portfolio pieces, there's been cases where we've done 10x ROI, 7x ROI, 3x, and stuff like that. So that potential is there. So you can have confidence that if everything you've told us is correct, you've got a strong website, you've got a good brand, you're going to put this amount of effort into it, then likely is going to be a good chance for success. That's how I sort of frame it, pretty much. It usually works well.
Yeah, I actually, that's, now you said that, Stephen, actually, I do get asked that occasionally. Like, people do say to me, maybe not in the way Fritz was saying, but they do say to me, oh, like, can you guarantee results, or how does that work? And I love what you just said there, but another thing I'd also say is that, look, like, to be honest with you, I'm looking for long-term clients, right? So if I think that if I'm not confident this is going to work, and I think this is only going to be like a 1 month thing, then it's just a waste of my time and a waste of my team's time, really, because only if you're looking to invest in this for a long time, that's when it starts to really pay off for us. So if I'm not confident, if I didn't think this was going to work, I wouldn't take on the project. I wouldn't even make you an offer on this. So
yeah,
I'll say that as well normally.
Yeah. That's what I always say as well. Like, we wouldn't make you an offer if we didn't feel like this is something that we could actually help you out with. In the past,
Exactly.
when we were smaller, I did take on projects like this, a really bad project, and I just took them on, and, I'll put my hands up and say we didn't get any results, but we're past that stage now. We're a few years into the agency, so now we can be a lot more picky on who we choose to work with. And like I told you at the start of this call, we don't make offers to everyone. So we wouldn't make an offer to someone we thought that, we couldn't get results for. So I like sort of frame it like that, and that sort of like gives the buyer frame as well. Like, we're choosing them, and it all links in together as well.
Okay.
Love it. Thanks.
Yeah, if you make them feel like there's some kind of result that they will get no matter what, even if you do get them results, they'll say, yeah, but this is not like the way they interpret results may be different from the way you interpret results, which is almost always the case, by the way. I don't know if you've noticed that most clients interpret results differently as time goes on than the way you interpreted them. They like change the result the way they, like, oh, well, yeah, when I signed up, I actually thought that we're going to get sales instantly, but it's been 15 days and you did all this work and don't have sales yet. So I don't know, I think you should give me a refund. But we signed up for a 3-month contract, and on the call we agreed that an average client takes a month and a half to start getting sales calls, and another 14 days for a sales team to get adjusted to the new type of leads, and then 2.5 months for a positive ROI on average start appearing with clients, right? And they're like, well, no, it isn't. And then you show them a sales recording, and they're like, yeah, but still, I was expecting results. Have you ever had that happen? Or something along those lines? It's an exaggerated situation, but not much exaggerated, by the way. It does freaking happen. And the issue there could be several things. Issue number one is something on the sales call that you said was not completely clear of what they can expect to them, was not completely clear. You may have said it in the way you understand it, but to them it was not completely clear. And it was not written on a document and signed. So there's misinterpretation because of a verbal agreement. And then issue number two that can cause this is while dealing with the client, their emotional state changes. Actually, there's 3 issues. The second issue is their emotional state changes, and you didn't handle it correctly at the correct points in the relationship. And then, I forgot the third issue. But those are the 2 main issues. There's a third one as well that I forgot that can cause this. So if you know how to deal with those two and the third one that I forgot, then you can retain clients rather for a much longer. Oh yeah. The third one is choosing the right client. So sometimes you just don't have the experience yet, or the right screening, or the right qualification questions, or whatever, to figure out that you're dealing with a person who's not qualified to be a business owner. Okay. Some people are just fucking crazy, and from one week to the next, their emotional state changes. This is not normal. Okay. It's normal for people, for their emotional state to change on a macro level over like 6 to 12 months or something like that, right? But if it's every week, you're dealing maybe with like a bipolar person or some weird stuff like that. And we can't be psychologists when we're, getting clients. And it's very draining to deal with people like that. So if you detect issues on the call, and the person is just fucking strange in some way, they're not polite, they don't have manners, they have like weird aggressive reactions to you, they have unclear expectations, or you tell them something and then they misinterpret it later in the call several times. You're describing you. Well, me personally? Fuck you, Aaron. No, but anyway, that's a mind fuck thinking about that. But okay, here's the thing. So everyone behaves to some degree along the lines that I just said. It's just like, is it too much to deal with or not? Okay, because if you're talking about misinterpreting things later in the call or whatever, this can happen to anyone. But how much misinterpretation is it? And is it always in one person's favor? Is it always like some messed up misinterpretation? Or is it quite normal, where it's like a small language barrier, right? So what type of misinterpretation are we talking about here? So you need to know how to judge people a little bit there. And you'll not always get it right. And if you get it wrong, you just get rid of a client, to be honest. But overall, I've been speaking to a business owner who's also a psychologist, and he said it's better to deal with people who had a good upbringing, who you would want to be friends with. You don't have to be friends with them, but who you would want to be friends with, and they would be just normal people that you can deal with without weird bullshit. And people who know how to read contracts, who have like brought up culturally the right way, and so they don't steal. They don't, like, some people, you talk to them and they talk about their clients in some weird way. So I saw a famous entrepreneur, famous internet marketing guru on stage. He once said, my clients, this was in front of 4,000 people at an event, by the way. Okay, he's on stage in front of 4,000 people. So my clients, they're all piss drinkers. We sell to this niche. It's called survival, and we sell them all this food and teach them how to drink their own piss so they survive. And they pay us tens of millions of dollars to learn this, right? So he considered his audience to be like this trash that he squeezes money out of, and he's calling them names and stuff like that. Would you deal with a client like that? Because if he deals if he treats his clients that way, and if he thinks of his clients that way, how will he think of you? What are you to him, right? Because if he treats his clients like that, how does he treat his partners and his colleagues and so on? Do you see what I'm saying? So you need to be a little bit of a judge of character. You need to be a little bit of a psychologist. Do you agree with this, Aaron?
Sorry, Alex, I wasn't actually listening. I was doing something else. Sorry. I'm just being honest. I was daydreaming, writing something to my outsourcer. You want to summarize in 30 seconds quickly again?
No, it's too much. No.
Okay, fine.
I thought you were listening because you were commenting on it. But I thought you had something commenting on it. But if you don't, that's fine. No problem. So who wants to speak next? Maybe Aaron, or who haven't I spoken to in a while?
Yeah, I'll speak to you. How have you been?
Oh no, I mean the Aaron Shaw.
That's sad. This is really sad. No, this is really upsetting. Yeah, speak to Rita. I spoke to him the other day as well.
Who?
Ari Reda?
Reda, it's time to step up to the mic and speak.
I'll speak to Reda. Hello, Reda.
Hey, Alex, how's it going?
Oh, just fabulous. How about yourself?
Yeah, it's going good, thank you. Yeah, it's going good. definitely going well.
Yeah, you got $6,000 in sales this week.
No, that's not true. I brought on 5 new clients. Some of them were deposits for January, and one of them, it's like a pay half now and pay half at the end of the month deal as well, which is the first time I've ever done that, but it made sense in this situation. But yeah, ultimately, like I've brought on a few more clients and it's definitely a few more $1,000 in revenue, which is great. Also, it's my first 2K sale. I've never had a 2K sale before, which is nice. Yeah, all Upwork is here.
Sorry?
Go ahead.
What's your lifetime value of clients now?
I'd probably say about $3,500, $4,000 at the moment.
Yeah, and in terms of duration?
On average, it'll be like 2. I had quite a few clients last month just stayed with me for 1 month, which was so stupid. Mainly because what I was saying to you, like what you were saying just earlier. So I'll probably say on average about 2 to 3 months at the moment.
Okay. So I would work on that, by the way. I would work on lifetime value because you seem to be getting a lot of leads and sales now, but your lifetime value is on the lower side right now.
100%.
Compared to other people I've been speaking to.
There's a few things that I've got written down that I'm going to be implementing to try and retain clients. Because something that I discovered recently is when I first joined DBH and I used to see people posting about how they've only had a client stay with them for 1 month or whatever else, I used to think, oh, they're just doing a shit service, like that's their problem. But now I realize that even though I'm doing a good service and getting results and they still leave after 1 month, I'm like, what the fuck? So it's like, yeah, there's so much more to it than just results from what I've learned.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. And what is the topic you wanted to talk about when you said that you wanted to talk?
Oh, no, I thought no one was piping up and I like to talk and just every time I speak to one of the instructors, I learn something new, even if I haven't got specific questions. So I thought something might come out of it where you tell me something interesting and yeah. But if anyone else has got any other questions or anyone else, like Ryan's got his hand up, feel free to, if Ryan wants to.
Well, I mean, I always have feedback for everyone because no one's business is perfect. Like anyone who thinks their business is perfect, they don't need some small tweak somewhere. I would have to disagree with that.
I agree as well. Okay.
Do you have invoicing automated?
No, so yeah, this is good. So at the moment where I'm bringing on these new clients, I'm having to manually go into each contract, change the contract, send them invoices. Like I don't even send my clients invoices unless I ask for them, which is really bad. Yeah, I know. And my accounting at the moment is just a part, like it's just so, I'm gonna have to spend days and days and days going through it and fixing it. So I need like, what I was thinking of doing is using Zapier and Stripe. And so getting the client to put all their details in to my Moon Clerk, which I'm hoping I can zap into like an invoice and also zap into a contract. I don't know if that's possible and just have it all automated and also automatically sends it all out.
Well, what we currently recommend for intermediate and advanced members is to install ThriveCart that automatically sends invoices and automatically bills them every month. So you don't have to do any of that stuff. And then in terms of contracts, I'm sure that you can plug it into some contract tool or use DocuSign manually.
Okay, ThriveCart. And what is ThriveCart?
ThriveCart is a cart that plugs into payment processors. How do you auto bill clients monthly?
Moon Clerk.
Right. So ThriveCart is a cart. It does taxes automatically, VAT number collection automatically, invoicing automatically, plugs into like all the payment processors you can imagine, plugs into anything really. Let me see if it plugs into contract tool. It's like the central point for accounting and invoicing, and you'll need it as your company grows. So ThriveCart contract integration.
I could even use Proposify, right? I think Proposify is like a way to edit contracts and things like that.
I don't know. It's all about automation. Like if you can have it so the client fills in the payment and everything else is automatic, that's usually better. And they get redirected to a page where there's a video that explains how the project will go and so on. Like what in DBH, we used to do intro calls for like 2.5 years. Every new member who joined got an hour with me and I said the same exact thing on every call.
Wow.
With a few variations. And I'm like, wait a second, I can make this into a video. because it's the same thing. Because it wasn't exactly the same thing, but then I made everything into a video, and then now there's no intro calls, and results have not gone down at all. There's no issues at all.
So that's interesting. I would have thought that someone, like if you were to have a personal one-on-one call, the retainer of that, like the chance of that person retaining is going to be much higher than just sending them a video. But if the data hasn't shown that, that's interesting.
Well, they do talk to me later.
I suppose, yeah, on their weekly call.
To instructors is a different business model, right? But,
yeah.
but some things that you always repeat, that you can put them in a video. You just need the human interaction for things that cannot be put in a video, essentially.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
awesome.
Accountability, client account management, that kind of stuff. That stuff cannot be automated very easily.
No, I agree. I think trying to automate that as well, like you need to have that one-on-one connection with people, in my opinion. I think if you automate too much, like it's just gonna fuck your retainers up, in my opinion, anyway.
Well, your retainers are already fucked up, by the way, but you can automate. In my experience now, you can automate a lot more than you think. So let me see. Thrive cards. Let me see. Explore. What? There's no Thrive card. Man, I'll just do SAM card. Okay, SAM card and then DocuSign. No DocuSign. Sign now. Sign request. New order. Action. Create document from template. And send role-based invite. Check this out. So I just found a solution, right? So just go to Zapier. And in Zapier, if you use SAMcard, I don't know if SAMcard is good, but if you use SAMcard and Sign Now, those two tools, when an order is created in SAMcard, a contract is automatically sent. There you go.
Yeah, awesome.
It's just a random two tools that I just found just by typing cart and sign into Zapier.
Is Thrivecart on Zapier, or is it not on there?
Thrive cards. I haven't immediately found it, but let me Google it now for you.
Because what would be super nice is every time one of my retainers comes in, it automatically gets an invoice automatically gets sent to them. That'd be amazing.
It's definitely possible.
It must be possible.
Yeah, it must be possible.
Yeah,
of course it's possible.
Okay.
There's a lot more complicated stuff out there than this. This is nothing. Like I have a whole affiliate program with like multi-tier affiliates and all this crap.
Mm.
I'm sure you can have a contract sent to people automatically. Did you want to discuss other stuff?
No, that's pretty much it. I just need to get this whole automation sorted in my business. Then I've spoke to you about project management before as well. When I'm in a position where I want to start automating my project management once I've obviously got all the processes sorted and everything written down properly, and I've done it all myself properly. But I'm a little bit concerned that I'm going to hire someone and then for some reason sales are just going to slow down, or like at what monthly revenue would you recommend looking for a project manager?
A project manager? What are you spending your time on right now?
Oh, good question. I don't even know. I'm going to clubs with Yazir and putting 4.5 girls a week. No, I'm joking. I'm spending time just project man, like literally just like messaging clients, like doing little bits of work here and there for them. At the moment, it's been like some sales calls and obviously sorting out invoices, sorting out new contracts, like all this sort of stuff. That once that's automated though, I'm going to be spending my time on.
So most of that can be automated without even humans, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, most of that, not all of it, can be automated without using humans. And the other stuff can be automated with someone taking a small percentage of every sale for project management. So you can do that now already.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So with project management, if I just say to them, hey, I'll give you X, like a certain amount per project, then even if the project management, even if it slows down, even if my sales do slow down, like touch wood, it won't, but even if it does, then it won't be a problem because they're getting paid per project. But the downside of that is that they're going to be working with other people as well, and that they might not treat your project so important. And if they're actually exclusive to you, it would be better.
Okay.
But would you agree with that?
it is better, yes, but if you can't do that yet, then do it not exclusively for now.
Yeah, Stephen, while you're on this call, if you're still there, that is, your project manager. Have you got her like on a full-time basis, and you're like her full-time job, or has she got other jobs as well that other people she works with?
Yeah, she has she has other jobs. I pay her $100 per project.
Okay. That's fair
But
enough.
yeah, I mean, ideally, at some point, I want to get someone that just works for me only, because yeah, they'll care more, right? They're one of your employees. It's that whole like employee relationship thing. They'll just care more if they just work for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
But it's good.
Yeah.
It's a good start, right? It is better than nothing to have.
Yeah, $100 a project sounds really cheap though. Like, if she's spending like 5 hours a week on a project.
Yeah. Well, she left another agency to come work for us in the UK. So.
And she's from the UK, right?
Yeah. Graduate, smart, intelligent. Left another agency to come work for the $100 per project.
I suppose if you're giving her like 20 projects, then that's a full-time salary, right?
Yeah, and I also get her to do like some VA stuff, some other like stuff as well. So she's kind of like assistant as well, like main assistant.
Yeah, cool. All right, I like that. Awesome. Thanks, man.